All right, well, I don't have to tell you guys what a bad year Sony has already had, given the fact that they have a alleged $400 million or more flop with Concord, a game that was supposed to be like this massive tentpole for them. They were comparing it to freaking Star Wars and all that. I don't understand what is going on with Sony and the decisions that they're making, given the fact that they have this game sitting in their lap, like Bloodborne, where if they just made a remake of Bloodborne and put it out there for gamers to just, consume and enjoy, they would make so much freaking money on this game. People like me who have never owned a PlayStation, people who enjoy Souls games but never got a chance to play this game, would pick up this game and absolutely play the hell out of it. But for whatever reason, Sony continues to make mind-boggling decisions and not give players what they want. But hey, speaking of remakes, we did get this Until Dawn PS5 and PC remake, which apparently is suffering a massively bad launch, which does not surprise me. We have seen so many games have rough launches this year. I mean, Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League notably was shut down after an hour when it launched initially, given the fact that apparently it was having like massive server outages or whatnot. And of course, Concord, which I previously mentioned, launched and closed within a 2-week time span. So now we have Until Dawn Remake for PlayStation 5 and PC having a rough launch with not just technical issues, but low player numbers too. Oh boy. So this IGN article says the remake of the 2015 horror game. Now explain one thing to me, guys, before I continue. Why are they remaking games that are only 9 years old? There are still plenty of games I have on my PC that are like 6, 7, 8 years old that I'll play, that I don't feel like, it doesn't feel like I'm playing like on the Nintendo 64 or the GameCube or something. These are still perfectly fine games that don't really need any improvements. Anyways, it says the remake of the 2015 horror game, which comes with updated graphics, technical improvements, and minor story changes, launched on October 4th with a full price tag of $60. Holy crap. And no cheaper upgrade option for those who own the original. See, that's complete garbage right there. At least when Witcher 3 did that technical upgrade, I believe if you already owned a copy of it, you got the upgraded version for free, which in my opinion is the right way to do things. This seemingly wasn't too appealing for PC players, as Until Dawn has debuted to a peak concurrent player count of just 2,607 players on Steam, according to SteamDB. And you can see it right here, 2,607 at peak 3 days ago, down to about 597 right now, which is just baffling. I don't understand these games that, again, I'd heard of Until Dawn. I never played it. Why, in God's name, make a remake rather than make a brand new game? Make something fresh and new. I get it. Development cost for a new game is going to be exponentially higher. But how much does it cost to make these remakes, put them out there, and then to only have 2,600 people playing it on Steam? Just mind-blowing, guys. I'll never understand this. But we have another remake that allegedly is doing better. If you base it on the Steam numbers, I think there's like 20,000 people playing it right now. 15,000 people roughly playing Silent Hill 2 Remake right now. Now, this is a game that just got listed to the DEI detected website. As we've all known, it's had some connections to DEI consulting companies like like Hit Detection, who's worked with Bloober Team in the past. And of course, you can see down here in the credits, you've got Hit Detection LLC with consultants Julie Muncie, Kristen Reed, Suriel Vasquez, Anthony Gallegos, and Jacob Geller. Jacob Geller, who we've talked about in the past. We talked about him on the live stream. We'll get back into him in a minute. But now we are seeing that allegedly Konami has deleted their original post when they announced that the Silent Hill 2 remake was going to be designed for modern audiences. So this could be a lot of things. This could be them learning the hard way that, hey, you know what? Some of this virtue signaling about the modern audience is actually turning off our customer base and chasing customers away, chasing away the actual paying customers, not just the weirdos on Twitter who are going to freak out and cry if they see something that offends them. No, they are realizing that modern audiences are not a real thing. So this article from that Park Place says Konami, the publisher of Bloober's team upcoming remake of Silent Hill 2, deleted their post announcing the game was designed for modern audiences. At the end of May, Konami published a post on X that has since been deleted where it announced, see how the Bloober team devs working on Silent Hill 2 preserved authenticity while adapting a horror classic for modern audiences. The post also included a video that featured the game's lead producer, Maciej Glom, I think the name is. I believe they're Polish, so, excuse my pronunciation. stating, "I think the biggest change that we've had was actually how to make the game approachable for the newcomers who have not played the original, but at the same time to retain the familiarity of the game that players remember from 20 years ago." And again, I think it's admirable to remake a 20-year-old game. I would die happy if Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time was remade at this point, because that is a game that I absolutely freaking loved. Probably one of my favorite Legend of Zelda games all time. Excuse the way I said Ocarina. I know most people say Ocarina. Bad habit. Anyways, this article says, creative designer and lead director Matthias Lennart added, "Our goal from the very beginning was to maintain the game's atmosphere while modernizing the gameplay to make it competitive in 2024. Now, the problem is, they didn't just modernize the gameplay. There was a lot of stuff where they changed some of the characters. I believe there's one character who was a little more scantily clad in the original game. They kind of covered her up. One of the other characters, who again, this is not a matter of being sexualized, one of the other characters originally looked a certain way, and we've seen, I believe this Angela in the game has been made to look a little bit more, let's just say more like David Duchovny and less like the original character. And so again, there have been a lot of examples of then quote-unquote modernizing this game. But it gets even better because we've seen quotes from people like this guy, Jacob Geller, at Hit Detection, saying some pretty unhinged crap about gamers, some pretty terrible stuff about how basically in a perfect world, there'd be no gamers, which is crazy coming from a guy who works for a DEI consulting company for video game industry. Talks about how the apology from Assassin's Creed Shadows over the way that they've treated Japanese people sucks. Why give those lunatics way more fuel for their fire? He says, "I still occasionally have people tell me that game critics are paid by publishers for good reviews, and it's just like, do you know how huge it'd be to break that story, to be the site that reveals the cash payouts everyone's taking, and no one has spilled the beans?" But again, we have seen the pay-to-play situations in the past. Maybe there'd be more girl gamers if guy gamers didn't act so incredibly unlikable. Again, just his general take on gamers as a whole, pretty reprehensible. Definitely not on the side of the customers, not on the side of gamers as a whole. And again, talking about how Kotaku had this article from NPR saying they're very worried that gaming is going to turn kids into the bad guys from WW2. Jacob Geller responds, "I totally understand the defensive response to our medium, but it's not at all inaccurate to say that far-right groups are trying to recruit gamers. Much of today's alt-right grew out of Gamergate, and its sympathizers and organizers like Bannon and Milo preyed on those groups." So this guy has been at it for a while. And again, he works at Hit Detection, another Sweet Baby Inc. adjacent company, one where they believe that they have to teach you how to be inclusive, and they give you, again, sensitivity reading about certain issues and things that might be problematic in your game. And it's not surprising, to be honest, it's not surprising that this kind of strategy worked on a company like Bloober, because Bloober, like I said, is based in Poland, and honestly, if you look at the team that works there, not a whole lot of diversity. And again, I'm not saying that as a negative, I'm just observing the fact that these people all look pretty Polish, to be honest. So it wouldn't shock me if there was a little bit of this liberal white fragility, a white guilt situation going on, where these people are easily convinced that maybe we should get these people who are going to teach us or tell us how we can not offend, the modern audience by, helping us with our game. So it just seems to be more of the same crap we've seen time and time again. They double down on it, and then when they realize it's not going to make them any money, they delete it, and then they try to hide their involvement. And we have seen time and time again certain companies that have scrubbed clients from their lists of companies that they've worked with. Sweet Baby Inc. has removed several companies from their list of clients. And the important part is that does not mean they're not working with them anymore. People need to get this through their heads. Just because a website or credits don't always include something does not mean those companies are not still hard at work behind the scenes. So I'm going to leave it right there, guys. Let me know what you think about all this, and I will catch you guys on the next one. All right, and if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching the video. Thank you for being here. I do have two channels, Minimal Effort Podcast, as well as my gaming channel. I do have a Twitch and Kick for my gaming channel. We do live streams over there occasionally, maybe once a week. And then if you are in the market for a new PC, make sure to check out Meta PCs. Click the link I have down below. Use code TBO at checkout for a special discount. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.